Hi, folks. This is Colin Richards, president and founder of Lord and Richards. And I'm very blessed to work with a wonderful team of advisors, highly skilled professionals who are working with folks just like you every single day to help you achieve financial independence. And we do that from a biblical point of view. You see, most folks we talk to like you are worried that events in our world are spinning out of control and that that's going to negatively affect your financial independence and specifically your retirement. So what we do is we help you build a plan to achieve financial independence so that you can take those wonderful resources that God has given you and do amazing things in this world for God and for others. And you know, it really starts with a comprehensive financial plan, a plan that's written, that's sustainable, that will get you from now through the end of life and take your resources beyond. And as part of that plan, there are many pieces to the pie. One of those is to make sure you got a great written risk management plan. Another is to have a good income plan written down, a healthcare plan, an estate plan, and so on. But today we're going to talk about that slice of the pie that deals with, yes, taxes. It's the one item I left out. Taxes are one of those two things that we've learned are certain in life, death and taxes. Unfortunately, there aren't many things we can really count on. But so long as we have the government that we currently have, we have a tax problem. We have a challenge. And I call it the coming tax storm. It is a tax storm because it's building on the horizon and it's going to affect you. It's going to affect me. It's going to affect all of us. You say, well, wait a minute. If I listen to the news properly, I'm hearing that it's only going to affect the quote unquote rich people who make $400,000 or more. We promise you, folks, you'll never see an increase in your taxes. Well, folks, how often do you know a politician is lying? Well, as long as you see their lips moving, right? There may be good intent, but more often than not, there's simply a desire to get elected, a desire to stay in that seat in Congress or in that office in the White House. And so we believe at Lord and Richards that our clients should be prepared in advance for what's coming because we know that there is an agenda to increase your taxes. And I'm going to explain a little bit why in this and future segments. First of all, let's talk about a little story here. Most of you, if you're like average Americans, have been taught to save in tax-deferred vehicles. That means money that you don't pay taxes on now, but you will pay taxes on later when you withdraw it from your account. You say, well, where are good places to do that? That sounds pretty good. I don't have to pay taxes right now. Well, you can do that in an individual retirement account called an IRA. And there's a section of the code called Section 401k. You might have heard of that, and you may be doing that, getting some matching through work. You might have heard of other sections of the code like 403b or 457 and so on. These are programs that work with various entities, both governmental, nonprofit, and for-profit companies that allow you to invest your money, not pay taxes, and therefore hopefully get a little bit more growth than you would otherwise because you're not having to take money away for taxes. Here's a little problem though. Most people having saved in those vehicles are going to pay tax both on what you put in now in the future and on the growth, right? Because normally what we do is we defer the taxes to a future date when we think we'll be in a lower tax bracket. That's what we've been told, right? One day when you retire, you'll have less in the way of taxes. Well, and for our grandparents, that may have been somewhat true, right? You think about grandma and grandpa. They stopped taking vacations when they were retired. They spent less money than they did when they were working. They talked about how they lived on a fixed income. They lived the fixedness of that income. They tightened the belt. They sucked it in. But think about our parents, the generation that's retired now, or maybe even you. You're going to every new restaurant. You're enjoying life. You've looked forward to retirement as a time to really get around the world, perhaps. Travel, take the river cruises, maybe buy the lake house for the grandkids, for the family to come. Whatever it is, there tends to be a little bit more emphasis in this current retired generation on enjoying retirement, looking at it as a reward for years of work. And so for boomers, Spending less in retirement doesn't seem to be the way they're wanting to go. Retirement is the reward. And they need to maintain their income in retirement in order to maintain those goals. So here it is on a bumper sticker. This is the great American savings myth. And it is that tax rates will be lower for you than they are today. That's just not true. First of all, think about the loss of key deductions, right? Even if you take less money out of your accounts than you lived on when you were working, you've lost some significant deductions. Your children, you've lost educational advantages and deductions. You've lost home interest advantages and deductions and so on. And then again, as we build retirement plans for our clients, we're finding that they want to maintain that standard of income as they pass over the line into retirement. And you're probably just the same. And you might be sitting here thinking, well, should I be feeling guilty for that because my parents or grandparents didn't do that? Well, no. The point is, if that's what you want, you've got to build a plan for it because it's not the way things are set up in our society. By investing in tax-deferred vehicles, you may actually be putting yourself in a position where you pay more taxes in retirement. Let's talk for a moment about the current environment. Since COVID, we saw a wave of federal stimulus, pumping trillions upon trillions of dollars into the system to try to save the economy. And so what is the result? Whether it's loan forgiveness, whether it's giving money out to small business or just mailing checks to people's houses, it was the great American giveaway, right? And a lot of people packed that money and saved it away and saved it, okay? But what's going to happen when the government realizes that its debt is no longer sustainable? That bill that was kicked down the road is going to come due. You don't believe me? Listen to these words from Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin during the very first wave of federal government stimulus package. He said this on March 18th of 2020, just as the crisis was getting underway. In different times, we'll fix the deficit. This is not the time to worry about it. Well, folks, my question is, when are we going to worry about it? Because as long as the government keeps spending money at an unsustainable clip, you can count on this. They're going to need to raise revenues down the road. So here's the question. Will that raising of revenues land on your doorstep? If taxes are a concern or other areas of financial planning, if you say, you know what, Colin, I truly do want to plan in advance for the potential of my taxes to go up even in retirement, I want to know what to do and how to avoid it, and I also want to know how to retire financially independent, well, then that's where we come in. At Lord & Richards, we're helping people just like you every single day to achieve and maintain financial independence. And it just starts with a simple process we call a financial independence review, a process that checks, are you ready? And if not, what steps do we need to take to get you there? It just starts with a simple conversation.